In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
Oh, yeah. It is perfect. The Panthers got their first win of the season. We're happy to see that. They go on the road and defeat the Arizona Cardinals 38-20. And the Cardinals came into this game better than the Panthers. They were 1-1, right? They had a tie on their record, but the Panthers now moved to 1-2, and it was an explosion of offense. The defense was exciting. We're here to chop it up. We're hanging out in the Vivid Seats studio tonight, and I'm hanging out. It's the C3 Panthers post-game show, right? And I'm here with Cody Lashney. How you doing, my friend?
Dude, I'm doing a lot better now, man. Oh, my God. Kyle Allen. Boy, we have some stuff to talk about, man. The chat room is already lit up. Michael Wade, Carlton Cohen, Joey Esquivel, Jake Delhomme, Underground West. The whole crew is here. And, boy, I am ready to do it. And Tony Dunn, ain't nothing to it but to do it, my friend. Let's roll.
There are a ton of calls coming into the cat calls line. The number is 252-228-5098. And we are excited to chop it up with you guys. Also in the house, Greg, the Bat Daddy. How are you?
Man, I am fantastic. After a Panthers win, there's really not much I can say other than I'm kind of in a euphoric state where everything's good, man. Like, I know I raised the question last week, what happens if Kyle Allen does this? And guess what? Now we've got to answer what happened when Kyle Allen does this. So let's get into it, man. Let's chop it up.
All right, Kyle Allen, 4 touchdowns, offensive explosion. What we got here was, look, Greg Olsen even had 2 touchdowns today. All right, offense on the table. The Panthers really in a must-win situation go into Arizona. And, I wouldn't say the defense was great at first, but they got better, right? And so where do you guys stand just watching this Kyle Allen performance now and thinking about this offense?
So if I may go first here, listen, now that I'm scouting college players all the time, I love scouting the quarterback position. And let me tell you, I just saw a Kyle Allen that was changing plays at the line of scrimmage, zipping the ball into the back of the end zone to Curtis Samuel right where it needed to be, knowing how to extend the play, keep the play alive, running the football, and moving around until DJ Moore comes to at the right time, or you have Greg Olsen open at the back of an end zone. Listen, man, I am not going to front. That was a very impressive performance by number 7, Kyle Allen, man. Listen, I have not been a believer in Kyle Allen, and I owe him all the apologies in the world. Homeboy balled out tonight, man. That's all there is to it. He did everything well. He looked under control. How do you not be impressed with that? How do you not?
I agree with you, man. There's no way you can not be impressed with it, but you've got to add the factors into the equation here. You can't leave every variable out. We did have almost no pressures on him this week, which means that the O-line did way better than it has before, having Greg Littleback. We did have 7 sacks on defense, which is phenomenal. That's, I believe, 6 more than the entire rest of the season. And we were playing a 2-win team from last year. So you add all that in, it does change what's going on. Right. But I don't want to take away from Kyle Allen. It was a great game. I'm glad he did it. I'm glad it's a good win. I'll take it any day of the week. I just, I got to think about the other stuff that happened too before I really get to.
Yeah, it's definitely a different conversation if he does this against Houston. I mean, that's going to be a big matchup.
Agreed.
So, by the way, in high school, Kyle Allen was rated a higher ranked quarterback than Deshaun Watson was, and they both came out in the same year. So Kyle Allen is showing you that he does have the potential, but I do agree. It was the Arizona Cardinals, and we need to see him do it again.
Yeah.
Now, you saw what happens, and did this change your guys' mind potentially about the coaching staff, particularly Norv Turner, Cody? Is that while we're not going up against the most formidable defense in Arizona, you saw how when you could execute certain things, how it really made the defense just play more honest. And that's the real thing here is Kyle Allen was playing with a lot of confidence. He felt it early, but they really put him in some good scenarios to succeed. But he was just making the throws. That was it. I don't even think he was just playing a sensational football. Like I'm looking at him like all of a sudden like he's Patrick Mahomes. But I do think that shows you, it makes it a lot easier on the offensive coordinator when you call a 7-yard pass and the ball gets there when it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. And listen, Darrell Williams did him no favors tonight. I mean, he had to make some plays on the run. He had to roll out of the pocket and make those throws, and he did just that. I'm not ready to say, oh, man, I was 100% wrong on North Turner, because like Greg said, we're playing the Cardinals. This is a hard test of who we are as a football team right now. I'm not going to 100% turn around on Norv, but I feel that he called a good game plan today. And yeah, I mean, you're seeing what the weapons put on this team in the offseason are meant to look like. That's why you have a DJ Moore, a Curtis Samuel. So I'm more happy than I was with the coaches, but I'm not ready to jump back on they're the ones that are going to take us to the promised land train yet.
Okay, so you're not turned around here, but what we got is there a QB controversy now?
I still don't think so. I still don't. I think that you got to see this from more than one game from Kyle Allen. Like I said, he's playing a team that was, what they get, the second pick last year in the draft? Third pick?
No, they were the first pick.
First pick, okay.
Yeah, the Cardinals were the first pick in the draft.
Okay, so first pick in the draft. You're looking at a team that was first pick in the draft last year. We should beat this team. And if we don't, then we got problems. But there was no pressure on the quarterback. And I'll give it to you. There were a few plays where Kyle Allen had to roll out, and he had a little pressure on him, and he performed well. He did very good, and I'm very proud of that. But there weren't it didn't look anything like the week 1 and week 2 with Cam Newton behind center.
Yeah,
where he had somebody in his face every snap.
Yeah,
that makes a big difference.
Yeah, it does. And I'll say this: I don't know if we're at quarterback controversy yet, but I'll tell you what, the foundation has been laid. I mean, listen, after you see a quarterback give that kind of performance, I mean, this is what I was worried about. If Cam comes back and looks a little rusty, how many people are shouting for Kyle Allen to come back? And Greg, you're right, man. We have to see them do it against a better football team. I think Houston will be a wonderful test of our football team. Yep. But, man, it just seems like every year that we play the Cardinals, it's right what the doctor ordered. A shot in the arm, 8 sacks on defense. Dante Jackson looked incredible. Man, this could not have come at a better time. But
what were Allen's stats today again, Greg?
He was 19 for 26 for 261 and 4 touchdowns with a 144.4 passer rating, which is damn near perfect.
This was our best offensive performance, or this is the most points we put up since I can remember.
The Giants.
Yeah.
In 2017, I think.
Yeah, I want to give him credit, man. This is a great game. He did a great job. I don't want to act like I'm taking away from him, but go ahead, Cody.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. Yeah, we put up more points than we have, I think, since 2017. So, hey, man, cheers to that, man. It was definitely a glimpse of what this offense has the potential to be, and what we were kind of wondering if we were ever going to see come from it. So. Definitely right what the doctor ordered, my friends.
So when we get this, is that all right? So you're looking at this offensive, performance. You do have to keep in mind that we have who the opponent is, right? And on top of that, if we are posing the question between Cam Newton and Kyle Allen, I mean it's a silly question to ask if Cam Newton is right. I feel like. But we haven't seen a right Cam Newton in a while. So the question then really isn't if there's a QB controversy. It's not if Cam is right. I don't think there is a controversy ever. but we haven't seen Cam be right in a long time. And right now, we don't know anything about the situation that's going on him. We have continued to talk about how bizarre this is at this point. So there is that, and you have to keep in mind who the opponent was in this case. But this was not all. Everything wasn't all lovely here. Darrell Williams continues to be awful. He has to be the worst left tackle ever.
He's bad. And then listen, this is another reason why I'm not ready to congratulate all the coaches. I even retweeted this on Twitter. What other football team has their left tackle on rotation? I mean, come on. Either go with Greg Little or believe in Darrell Williams for whatever reason. But yeah,
tell me
Darrell
what
Williams
happened with that. What happened with that? Why is it that Greg Little comes in and we look better? And then Darrell Williams is back in getting trounced.
Can I add to that? It's because Ron Rivera is terrible at assessing talent.
Yes, so bad.
I'm not quite on the hill yet where Cody is about firing him, but he is terrible at assessing talent. And sorry, Greg Little is better than Darrell Williams, and he needs to be replaced. He should be in there the whole time. Darrell Williams should be the backup. Period. There's no question about that. Okay.
Yeah, 100%. And Ron Rivera has never been good at evaluating talent. Andrew Norwell would have never gotten paid the money he did by Jacksonville if Manny Silatolu didn't get hurt, and Ron Rivera was forced to play him all those years ago. It really is maddening, man. I mean, then there was that third down call where Chandler Jones knocked the ball out of Kyle Allen's hand, and it was because Darrell Williams whiffed on that play.
He is not good. He is not a left tackle. And you know what? And we shouldn't, and I shouldn't be getting on him. He wasn't ever meant to be a left tackle.
Right.
He really wasn't good enough to play right tackle in many cases. Is that I think he had a good year and he played about as best as he could that year that he was like an alternate on the Pro Bowl or something like that, whatever it was. But he wasn't ever agile. He screams guard.
Yeah.
That's what he screams to me. And even if you look at his get off, his back step, that first step just looks silly when him trying to get back into a passing down. I thought Greg Little performed well enough. I think it's time to go ahead and make the change. I thought they had noticed it. To me, I thought this was the first adjustment, guys, that we had seen the staff make on a personnel without just dying on the hill. I thought when we saw Greg Little in there, the staff just finally had enough, and they saw it's time to try our hand with something else. He comes in there, plays all right, and then Darrell Williams is back? What is going on? Why did he come back?
It's so dumb because Ron Rivera, that's a question for Ron Rivera. And Ron Rivera is going to continue to make the same problems or do the same things because that's what he's always done. I don't understand it. Darrell Williams has never had the agility necessary to have an effective kick set against a speed rush, especially someone the aptitude of Chandler Jones. When we had our Arizona Cardinal guest on the show last Tuesday, I asked him about Chandler Jones. Will he ever get the respect that he deserves, being mentioned by Von Miller and Khalil Mack? Well, let me tell you, Darrell Williams will fucking do it for your career, boy. Dude, Chandler Jones made him look like a little boy, man. He's not meant to play the position, and I don't know what has to happen for Ron Rivera to understand that and actually play Little the majority of the snaps.
Yeah.
There are 4 seconds left. It looks like Tampa Bay is on the third and goal, and they're down by 1. Oh, they just missed a field goal. Tampa Bay loses. Field goal no good with the clock running out. 4 seconds left. The Giants on the road beat Tampa Bay. All right, so you know what, guys? Let's go ahead and jump into the calls and see where they take us and see what what Panther Nation is feeling after this win. We put up a couple of polls too in the chat room. If you go back up, I'm going to put them back up while the calls are going on. Who do you credit with today's win over Arizona? Kyle Allen, Cam's absence, Arizona's porous defense, and who impressed you most on Carolina's defense? Christian Miller, Brian Burns, Ross Cockrell, Dante Jackson. So be sure to participate those and call into the Cat Calls line. The number is 252-228-5098. Let's go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. 74 people watching right now, 14 likes. Guys, we got to continue to build this post-game show. You guys are killing it in the chat room. You're killing it on the Cat Calls line. Now just crush that thumbs up button and help this show grow. Let's see what the Cat Calls got this week.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty you shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his nose? Who's that kid that can use one?
Hi, what's up? Kuechly, what's going on? This is Call D. Yeah, I'm watching the game in the fourth quarter. I tell you what, it's Kyle Allen has been looking good in the regular season of his last two starts. I don't know. But like we were talking about Cam and acting like he just whatchamacallit. All right, Cam, you better get your whatchamacallit. You better build that confidence back up if Allen continues playing like this.
I think we got to slow our roll on Allen a little bit.
QB controversy?
Agreed. No, there's no quarterback controversy.
No.
Yeah, team looks good today. Well, the offense looks good. Defense still a little We need just a little still for the defense. All right. Keep pounding.
All right, so let's see. Let's see if there's another call queued up after this. Here. Guys, with that, again, no QB controversy. I think, if anything, this just tells us how wrong things are with Cam. And what that is, we don't know yet. We don't know if it's complete physical or if it's just that he's lost his juju, his mojo. So the one exciting thing about this is that defense did have 9 sacks today. Theron Jenkins said this in the chat room. Dante had 2 picks, but he missed a lot of tackles. We almost got burned. Dante almost got burned on that one where he tried to jump. He tried to go after the running back. He was going into the flat.
And they dropped the ball. Yep.
Yeah, and it went right through that guy's hands. That's a TD. Jackson still is he's a gambler, right? And it's paid off. He is a ball hawk. You saw him play, I thought, overall pretty well, but I think the story today came from the youngins on the defensive line. I think it was all Christian Miller and Brian Burns show today. And I don't know if I remember seeing Gerald McCoy all that much. I thought Poe looked – how about this? You heard Poe's name more than you had ever heard today, I think, in his whole year with the Panthers.
I think the entire defensive line played well. Again, we don't know if that's just because we were going up against a very poor Cardinals offensive line. But, dude, you saw the future of the Carolina Panthers pass rush. I said after the draft, I love the Christian Miller pick in the 4th round. That guy had 8 sacks at Alabama and didn't play half the year. So imagine if he would have stayed healthy, that guy might have been a first-round pick that we picked up in the 4th round. And then Brian Burns, what more do you need to say? Brian Burns is on every play. He's relentless even after chasing down the quarterback. Man, our defensive line looked powerful, strong today. And it was going to look before the season started.
Well, let me ask you, Cody. Yeah. I think Tony said we had 9 sacks today. I thought it was only 7 or 8, but I could be wrong. With K1 Short not playing today and us having, close to 10 sacks, do you think that that's a system or a formation we should run with in the future? Do you think maybe K1 Short is holding us back? Do you think that the defensive line was better today because he wasn't there? Or do you think it has to do with the fact that it's Arizona? They were the first draft pick last year. things like that. What do you think?
It's possible that it's a little bit of both. I do think that K1 short on the field, it's definitely going to help out. But yeah, that 3-4. I mean, that was the whole point of it, is that you have these dominant defensive tackles that are going to be able to push the line of scrimmage, but you have that safety net of pressure around the edge. Like I said, I really, it's hard for me to know more until this Houston game that we played, because that is a bad offensive line in Arizona. In Arizona, well, and Houston, it isn't the best either, but Arizona has a bad offensive line, and it is worth mentioning. But at the same time, I mean, they just did a lot well. They were in the right positions.
Let's mention this as well. When it comes to bad offensive lines, I feel like how many times in the past have the team Carolina gone up against bad offensive lines and gotten zero production? I felt like in the past that everybody would get 11 sacks against Tampa, and then we would play them and we wouldn't get any. Or I remember a game against Minnesota, the same thing. We've played these poor offensive lines in the past and have not been able to generate a lot of pressure. But guys, I think what you saw was the excitement of a new system that meets young players on defense. And that is a lot of some of these sacks were a little coverage sacks. The Christian Miller sacks, both of them, I think, were long developing ones, but they had the motor to keep going on after this. Was exciting to see that defense, and crazy to see that Luke Kuechly probably was the least noticed player out of that whole defense today, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Guys, it looks like he's almost become a player that you wouldn't even recognize if you didn't know who he was before in the first 3 games. I mean, well, okay, game 2 he had like 17 or 18 tackles. I'll give you that. But
which
game
is
1
fine,
and game 2, he really hasn't impressed that much. He's missed 2 interceptions that he should have caught. He's made a lot of tackles, as a linebacker should, but he's really not stood forward as the number 1 defensive player in the NFL like he has been for the past few years.
But let me jump in there, though, because part of the benefit of even having him isn't always going to be just the tackles that he's going to make. It's him getting guys in the right formation and his ability to recognize what the offense is doing. So even if Luke didn't have a monster game, him being on the field, I saw him moving Dontari Poe around, and Murray had to respect him. He had to always know where Luke was. So even if he didn't have the guard stats, his very presence has to be accounted for. I'm not worried about Luke. Luke is incredible. Luke is going to continue to be incredible. And honestly, it's about time that other players on our team started to look good.
Yeah. I thought Shaq looked pretty good still. I mean, Shaq is –
yeah.
I don't think our linebackers look bad. It's just this is for once I was just noticing everybody else except for them first, right? Now, on top of that here, this is because we're not journalists and we're just fans chopping it up. This is a juicy comment here in the chat room, guys. Jesse Deal says Cam needs to take some time off mentally and physically to get right. I've heard from an inside source that he's struggling with Kia Proctor being pregnant with another guy's kid. Hope that's not true. Holy
come on, what are we doing here? I heard from a guy who knows his friend, who knows his baby mama. Yeah, I mean,
is what that is.
Yeah, dude. Dude, it's what. Hey, man, if it is true, dude,
I would be struggling.
I
would be shook. I have look. This is why I don't think it's that ridiculous to say. Now, I mean, I think that it could be just a total stab in the dark, but I firmly believe something's going on with Cam's emotional health or mental. Not like, I mean, I'm not saying he's having a mental breakdown or anything like that, but it's just something that he's lost his juju. All right, let's keep going. The number's 252-228-5098.
Hey, look, guys, this is front seven best in the game, Captain Complainer. Complainer in chief when it comes to WFNZ. But listen, I know this is Arizona, but the fact is, if he plays like this against the Jaguars, all right, and I know Cam's probably going to start against, if he plays like this against Houston, and then I know Cam will start against the Jaguars. If Cam is slacking during the Jaguars, and we don't put Cal Allen just to see if it's real or if it's fake, that is like so bad on our coaching. Like, you have to put Kyle Allen just to see, right? I know Cam is our QB. Cam is our boy, right? And I just hope Cam comes back when he's fully healthy. He needs to be fully healthy to run his offense. Because this is what this offense looks like fully healthy. We should have done this to Tampa Bay, period. Tampa Bay, we should have demolished them, all right? And this is what it looks like when you have a healthy quarterback.
We should have beat the Rams.
So I'm just saying, if Cam looks off against the Jaguars, you have to put Kyle Allen at least one series just to see if it's for real or if it's fake. That's all. But Cam right now is a quarterback. Kyle Allen's balling. That's all I need to see, baby. That's all I need to see. But all I know is that Ron Rivera's defense, his play calling, needs to step up because Kyle Murray should not be running down the field on us like he did his first few plays. Period. In the story. He needs to shut that stuff down. Period. They shouldn't even have 20 on us right now. But all right, guys, keep pounding. Let's go.
Is there any? All right, so we'll get to the Cam Kyle concept down the road in just a second. But you know, Arizona did move the ball against the Panthers defense at times. It wasn't till late into the game or later in the game that we really started to get to them. There was a couple of missed throws. There were some opportunities that they missed that hurt them. But, guys, on those first couple of drives, Kyler Murray's just gashing us. He is so fast, though. I mean, he was like a little micro machine out there running around. And but this defense, while we had 9 sacks or whatever we had against them, and it was a pretty solid performance in the third consecutive week where the defense has not been a problem or has not disappointed at us, I haven't looked at the defense just yet and said, man, this defense is ready to lock cats down just yet. But maybe they can grow into that, especially with these guys like Marquise Haynes, Christian Miller, and Brian Burns really becoming an exciting factor of that defense.
Well, I think that, you know, it's still fair to say that we don't know who this Panthers team is yet because we had a great game, but it was against Arizona. And we had to find out the hard way why defenses have had such a historical problem playing Cam Newton, because when you have a quarterback that can run like that and extend the play on his own, they have to play zone defense because you can't be in man when the quarterback takes off. You have to be prepared to go and make the tackle, and it's easier to make throws into zone coverage. So I think even in spite of that, our defense did pretty well. And, yeah, Kyler Murray, I mean, his ability to extend the play and make those throws, that's why they drafted him number 1. So it doesn't bother me too much. But, I mean, I think we did reasonably well containing him, especially at the end there. So I don't think it's too much of an issue. But like I said, it's still early. We don't know yet.
Yep. I have to agree with you, man. It's still early. But if I had to look at things, I would say that players like Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, they are the future of the NFL. They are what Cam Newton was, 1 or 2 years in the league, what you expected out of them. They're younger, they're faster, they are mobile quarterbacks that can also throw the ball. There's a lot of things that go into the NFL that in every game that people don't really take into account whenever they judge players. I think that NFL has a lot to do with popularity as well. You got to remember, this is a TV show, and it is the most popular TV show in the nation. So they're going to try to make the best ratings they can. I personally believe that there is a bias from the NFL and or the refs towards certain teams. I was watching the Kansas City game today earlier.
Oh yeah,
Baltimore.
Man! Kansas City got all the calls.
Dude, I have never seen somebody like Patrick Mahomes, like he did today, a quarterback, be able to talk the referee into changing the call without even looking at the footage, like Mahomes did today. Okay, and I'm a big believer that there is a lot going on with ratings that has to do with the way refs call the game. Patrick Mahomes got tackled today, got sacked, talked to the ref himself, and had him throw the flag and change the call without the ref ever looking at any footage to change his mind. That is wrong. That is wrong. That is wrong. That is wrong. I don't give a damn what you say. That is wrong. There should be no way that a player should be able to talk a referee without further reviewing the footage into changing the call. And I think that's kind of the way we are in the game today, that it is a money game today, and that stats and ratings run coincide with each other, and that a team like Kansas City or New England that everybody wants to see great and do really good are going to get better calls than smaller market teams like Carolina, Arizona, teams like that. So it's that's my theory. It's not necessarily true, but I've never seen a quarterback be able to walk over to a referee without any kind of.
He's not old enough to get those calls.
Call.
He's not old enough to get those calls, but
Yeah,
we're old enough.
Really, good point, man. Good point.
Like
we're old enough because you're listening to the #1 Panthers podcast, and the got to be one of the hottest post-game show right now. There's 91 people watching. Let's get 9 more people by sharing the link and smashing the thumbs up button, because let's hit 100. That would be the first time we've hit 100 in a live show, and we're killing it every Tuesday night. We've been doing this for 6 years. This is our 7th, I believe. We don't miss a week, and we're not going to miss a game. Good, bad, ugly. And today we're here celebrating. Now let's talk quickly about the first part of the call, guys, is that what do we do with – I think right now – I think the whole idea of, and I didn't even like saying, you guys said you didn't like me reading the comment about the Kia thing. I don't like saying the quarterback controversy thing. I don't think that that's not a real thing to say. What I would say is that we're excited at this point that maybe we have a solution that is not so dire to where Cam can get right without the pressure, hopefully. Hopefully this signals that we can operate as a team and our season isn't dead just because Cam Newton missed a week, right? Or maybe he needs to miss 4 weeks. And if we can come out of that, if we can come out, close to 500 where Cam's coming out or coming back, where are we at if we're 2-3 and Cam is still just okay at this point? I say you let him sit until he gets 100% right, can take over a team with some confidence, and then if he struggles or if he gets injured again, you got to go back to the young kid. But there is a kind of fear that exists in me as well that Kyle Allen gets us to 6 wins. We're playing the Arizona Cardinals here. It ain't going to look like that against Houston. It ain't going to look like that against maybe the Saints or something to that effect. And, we're not getting the draft pick that we wanted. But, guys, you got to go 1 week at a time, 1 play at a time, 1 win at a time. And Kyle Allen delivered today. And it was really a team effort. DJ Moore involved, Curtis Samuel involved, and there was more that we left on the field as well. Christian McCaffrey, sensational. So how do you handle Cam Newton, Kyle Allen in the immediate future, Cody? And then Greg, how do you handle him in the long term of the season? So what are you seeing pan out in the next 2 weeks, and what are you seeing 4 or 5 weeks from now?
Well, see, here's the deal. I don't know the extent of how hurt he is. I don't know. I mean, I want him to come back healthy and not have to deal with this. So, yeah, I want him to take as much time as possible. But, guys, I'm also not – okay, let me say this. There's no quarterback controversy amongst fans like us that pay attention to the Panthers and know who Cam Newton is. Okay, we got that. But let's not be naive and pretend that there isn't half of the fan base that has never been able to stand Cam Newton, a lot of times for very stupid reasons. And we know that the media, Sports Center, all these other organizations are going to be looking at Kyle Allen, talking about what happens if Cam Newton comes back and doesn't perform well. Like, it's one thing to say, oh, there's no controversy, but it's going to be on the tongues of a lot of people for a long time to come. And, of course, I'm on Team Cam Newton. But what happens if the Panthers go 5-2 in his absence? Like, if let's say that Allen continues to ball out in this very way, are you going to rest the hot hand? I'm telling you, man, there might be more here than people are making it out to be. And I'm on Team Cam Newton.
No, I'm partially scared, too, that there could be some problems between Cam and the organization. And when I say organization, I don't know if that's coaching staff, that's offensive Norv and him or Ron and him. I don't know
Maybe
if Ron
Tepper.
is feeling pressure because his job could be on the line. But I don't think that necessarily things are wonderful at this moment. And I don't know if it's only injury. But, man, where do you see this panning out in the long term? Or not like in the long term for Cam's career, but after, the next 2 weeks, Greg?
Well, I look at myself, and I know tomorrow I'm off work, so I'm not going to do it. I'll probably listen to these podcasts a little later, but I know that tomorrow I'm going to listen to Undisputed. I'm going to listen to First Things First. I'm going to listen to Speak for Yourself. I'm going to listen to Colin Cowherd, and they're all going to say that Cam Newton's done, that Kyle Allen has taken a spot, and they're not going to put any of the factors into the equation that, how many times was Kyle Allen sacked today? Once?
I know of at least once.
Yeah, once, I think. And how many times has Cam Newton been under pressure the last 2 weeks? A ton. They're not going to bring that into the equation, but they're going to talk about how well Kyle Allen did. They're not going to talk about how we played the worst team in the NFL last year that had the number 1 pick and had the rookie quarterback that was what Cam Newton was when he came into the league, what we expected of him. They're going to leave all those factors out, and all they're going to talk about is what they saw today. 4 touchdowns, almost perfect passer rating, almost 300 yards. And the reason they're going to do that is because this is a television show. It's a television show.
And they don't watch it closely
in the area.
And they don't watch it as closely as they should because they can, I don't know. I thought that even, what was it, Brady Quinn today when he said DJ Moore, or somebody was like, DJ Moore is coming into a number 1 receiver spot, and I just don't know if I've seen that just yet.
No.
Right now I feel like it's just been a balance.
This game? But that's only if you've watched this game only. And that's the thing is, we're Panthers fans. Well, we're Panthers fans. Tony's a casual fan. So
You're right.
me and Cody are Panthers fans. Tony's a casual fan. But
turns out. All right, let's keep pounding through with these calls.
Chef Jeff Hodge here.
What's up, Jeff?
Just watching the end of the Arizona game. Thank God we're hopefully going to still pull out the win. Kyle Allen looked like a completely different quarterback out there. I don't know what the hell happened, but he looked decent. Game plan was good.
What happened? Garbage defense.
Defense obviously played pretty good. I do want to comment on the Cam Newton situation.
Let's hear it.
This is just hypothetical.
Okay.
But for me, the best thing that could happen is that maybe David Tepper sat Cam Newton down and said, look, guys, or look, buddy, I know that this coaching staff has treated you like shit and has broken you and hasn't put the people around you. They should have shelved you after the 2015 season, after your surgery. You should have been on the bench for a minimum of a year.
Ooh.
They didn't do that. They continued to play Cam Newton. So I'm wondering if David Tepper maybe told Cam, hey, get healthy this year. I don't want to see you out there. I'm getting rid of these dumbasses that run our team, Ron Rivera and Norv Turner, and getting you an offensive coach. I honestly believe if Cam Newton would have started his career with somebody like Sean Payton or Chip Kelly, or Andy Reid, he'd have 4 MVPs and like 5 Super Bowls by now. I mean, let's just be honest.
No doubt.
But wonder what you guys think about that. That's my conspiracy theory. But keep pounding, and at least we got us a win. Thanks, guys.
Go ahead and respond, Cody.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know if what conversations David Tepper is having with Cam, but I don't know, man. It's hard to have a feeler on what people in the organization are thinking about Cam Newton. Fans don't really know how to feel about Cam Newton right now. Half people are talking about, oh, Kyle Allen is the new savior, and then other people are like, oh, Cam just needs to get healthy and come back. But the fact of the matter is that, Tony, you and I have been questioning where Cam Newton's mindset is. Like, we did that on the show. So right now, no one knows what's going on. If I'm Cam Newton, I'm looking at this as an opportunity to heal up, get your best self, put your best foot forward, no pun intended, and let's ball out, man. You have a young guy that's hot on your heels. All the people are going to be talking. It's time to shut some people up.
All right, you're listening to the C3 Panthers post-game show, C3 podcast.
102 people watching right now.
Yeah, we crested
Nice.
100. First time ever. Go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Call into the Cat Calls line. The number's 252-228-5098. And if you're heading to the game next week or in the coming weeks, check out Vivid Seats. They can help you out there in your effort to get back. I mean, guys, Panther fans, I hate to say this, but you will see some excitement now among fans, despite us. It's been a demoralizing start. And I think it comes back to this with Cody, with the Cam Newton thing, is where I think I continue to be at is I just don't know enough about the situation to make any real judgments about what's going to even happen in the near future. But right now, we were able to get our first win. Whether that we can continue to capitalize on that, I don't know just yet. But is that having some competent quarterback play, and Cam has not been good at all in those first 2 weeks, and why that is we don't know necessarily. But you saw that the offense could get a little bit more done. But again, you're talking about a team that is not good on any front overall. But this is what we needed. Look, is that while we're going to dog the Arizona Cardinals, hell, they stuck in there with the Ravens. They gave the Ravens a good fight. They came back against the Lions and tied it up, and the Lions beat the Philadelphia Eagles today. And on top of that is that here, it's one thing to beat a team that you're supposed to beat. But, boy, how bad would it have been had we not beaten the team we were supposed to beat today? Yeah. And you saw it completely different. You might see those jobs. I think for the first time I saw a little relief on Ron Rivera's face. For the first moment I saw, I think, a smile and some holy cow. There has been a weight on this team for some time, and today was just a little bit of breathing room to continue. So go ahead and smash the thumbs up button. 48 people have liked the show. Continue to grow Panther Nation with us. Let's get to the next call.
Yep. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Brandon Herbert, the Black Cat. And
what's up, Brother Herbert?
First of all, Kyle Allen played phenomenal. Still don't think it's a quarterback controversy. As much trash and crap that y'all think I talk about Cam Newton.
Agreed,
he
buddy.
Deserves way more respect than that.
Yeah.
Amen.
Shout out, Brother Herbert.
I just want a healthy Cam Newton, and maybe he can make those throws.
Yeah.
But my biggest thing is to all y'all that keep on calling in and talking about our pass rush, and I posted some stats about it before the game. What were y'all looking at? And then I've been harping about it week after week. Our pass rush is fine. Our defense is fine. It was just the first 2 weeks, our offense wasn't doing what they were supposed to be doing.
Correct.
So they got short field after short field after short field. They played phenomenal. Brian Burns, all of them, every one of them played their ass off. Dante Jackson played his ass off. That's probably the most impressed that I was with the team. But yeah, Kyle Allen, he looked phenomenal. Our offensive weapons, I think the game plan was a little bit better. The biggest issue that I have is Ron Rivera's incompetence. Every time you put Darrell Williams in at left tackle,
it's so bad.
He got beat.
So bad.
When you had Greg Little in, he had time. He still needs to be gone. He needs to be fired. I really do think we should keep Marty Herney because he's done an excellent job with the talent. He can't coach too. I know that's not maybe how it works, but we should really consider keeping him. All right, guys, keep pounding.
Good call there. And what do you think? I mean, look, Marty Herney has assembled. We have been very happy with Marty Herney's rosters he's put together in the last 2 weeks. If our offense can generate some points, guys, we settled for field goals in our first 2 weeks. Today we were able to score touchdowns. And look, that's what you got to do in the NFL. if you're going to win, it really feels different when your team puts up 35. Now, they still put up some points against us, guys. Our defense was not shut down. And while it was nice to see them get some help, there were some issues there. I think that maybe some stronger offensive teams may be able to capitalize upon. But good step forward for all sides of the ball. And Graham Gano, nobody's missing him, are they?
Nope.
No.
Not at all.
Gosh.
And listen, I've said on the show before, you really don't know if a team is a legitimate contender until, they start playing October, November football. So, I do think that this is a defense that's starting to click. They're starting to turn it on and realize what it means for them to be able to fire on all cylinders. I'm excited about their potential moving forward. There were some comments in the chat I wanted to highlight. Angelica Jane said this playbook is designed for Kyle Allen. You can tell he's very comfortable with the throws, and Norv Turner is tired of Cam Newton's inconsistency. She goes on to say later on that the ball placement was perfect. He was putting it right in between the numbers, and this is kind of what I'm talking about. I'm on team Cam Newton. I want him to get healthy, but the quarterback controversy is here, man. People are going to look at a performance, and especially if he does it one more time against Houston, this conversation is not about to go away. So I'm just preparing you all.
Oh. Well, two things I got to say about that is he commented about our defense playing well today. Our defense has given up 90 points in the first 3 games, which is an average of 30 points a game. That is not a superior defense. It's just not. 70 points. I'm sorry. 70 points in the first 3 games. I don't know what that breaks down to, but it's not great. Okay? Not a superior defense. We've played okay, though.
23 points.
Okay. And we can beat that. We really can. My thing is, we always highlight the way the defense plays when they do really well. That now they've had 9 sacks throughout the season through 3 games. That's 3 sacks a game, but 8 of them were this game. So, you really can't use that as a stat. That's a very skewed stat when somebody who's not watching the game looks this up. One thing I wanted to point out though was that Therion Jenkins in the chat says, Cody, no Norv Turner hate today.
Listen, man.
I noticed when he plays well, we have no Turner hate. I'm just saying. Let's point that out.
That's how it always goes.
I'm still not on team Norv Turner. Listen, you just said it yourself, man. This is against the Arizona Cardinals.
Right.
I have not seen enough from Norv Turner to prove that he is anything other than an older version of Mike Shula. I'm still on the hill, and I'm ready to die on it like always.
Okay.
Well, we'll see. As maybe he can turn you around, but I think here,
I'm always open to be turned around.
Is where the quarterback controversy is not just the Cam to Kyle question. What you saw is now Kyle Allen could have been. There was a time where he threw, maybe it was the touchdown to Curtis Samuel in the back, and he was about to get yanked down by that. He just got it away. But, it worked, and he was able to do some things that Cam has not been able to do in a while, and that is when things haven't been fantastic, he was able to move a little bit outside the pocket and still deliver a throw. What we haven't seen Cam Newton do in a while, and it's been a long time, and I think it's been since he was hurt before his shoulder injury, is that kind of bootleg, roll out, and throw with his feet moving, and
I'll give you that.
I haven't seen that a lot, and I saw Kyle Allen was able to extend some plays, was able to push the ball downfield, and again, they were not there. It was wide open, the field. These throws, though, he got brave on a couple of them, but those guys were wide open. Think about the Greg Olsen touchdown, the first one. Now that is a throw Cam would have missed. I hate to say it. That's the type of throw where it's just a layup. And that stinks.
So let me ask you, Tony. Do you think that if Kyle Allen would have played Game 1 against the Rams, do you think we would have won that game? Do you think he would have played better against a team like the Rams, or do you think that
Kyle Allen we saw today
of the team we're playing?
That's a great question.
I think. I mean, listen. Cam was missing so bad against Tampa, and we only needed a few more throws against the Rams. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility that maybe if Kyle Allen was in, I mean, we're still talking about a hurt Cam Newton from that preseason game. So, I mean, hey, I mean, our defense, for as much points as they've given us up, I mean, they've kept us in the game. So, I mean, maybe Allen does make the difference. I don't know. But
yeah, because we were so close in all of those. These are all like one-score games ultimately, right?
We haven't been blown out in any game,
and so we haven't. We have, you know. But I do think it's kind of like I'm not done on Cam yet. I stand with Cam.
No,
and I think he is going to be able to come back, but he's got to get healthy or something. Whatever is wrong has to get right, and there's no need to force the issue until that is changed.
So you think we should stick with Kyle Allen for a little while until Cam Newton is until
he can come out there and he says this. And you know what? I would say I stick with Kyle Allen. Here's the thing. Here's the one thing that would change what Cam has to do. He has to then come up after a game where Kyle Allen throws, say he has another game like this where he throws 3 touchdowns, no picks, that kind of thing. And I need Cam Newton to basically come up in the jock strap like Gardner Minshew into Ron Rivera's office and put his thing on the desk and say, this is I'm Cam Newton. I'm ready. Give me the effing ball. And right now, I think that there is something that is the thing out of all the things that was probably most troubling to me with Cam Newton is that I don't know if he's lost confidence in himself. What I think is that 1-yard play where we needed that 6 inches or whatever to get a first down. We were going to get a touchdown and win it on the last play of the game. Why isn't Cam Newton at this point confident enough to say, I don't care what anybody says, I'm Cam Newton, give me the ball, I'm going in the end zone. And when Cam Newton comes into the office and says that, right back to his team.
I'll give you that. Okay. Yeah. I can't argue that point. Yeah.
I need I need Big D Cam back. That's what I need. All right.
Cam can make throws that almost no other quarterback can do. I've seen him do it. Cam can be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I think it is fair to say that Cam Newton isn't a fast starter. His early season games are never the best football. So, everyone's going to have to cool their jets when Cam does come back and he misses a throw or misses a layup here and there, and he hasn't been practicing with the team. Everyone's going to need to pump the brakes and not start shouting for Kyle Allen at the top of their lungs.
Yep.
That's going to have to happen.
Joey Esquivel in the chat says, is Tony ready to eat crow for saying Kyle Allen is trash?
Are you?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I felt like this is, we're doing our picks on Pirate Radio. I'm there every Friday on the sports bar from 3 to 5 with Clip Rock, and we do our picks across the NFL. And I wanted to pick Baltimore going into Kansas City. But the thing that I continue to come back to is that Baltimore has looked good against Miami and the Cardinals. And until I see them now, today I think was a big effort. And
they look pretty good.
I think today's game, reinforced my optimism in that as a real deal team. And I think Lamar Jackson is, I looked at him, I said, man, that's baby Cam right there. That's a skinny Cam. He was doing the same type of things that Cam was doing when he was young in his career, and he was throwing the ball with confidence. So I am not ready. I'm going to say Kyle Allen is recyclables at the moment.
Okay.
He's not trash. I need to see him do it
as a guy who's been married over 10 years, and I know you have too, and you're probably feeling me on this one. You can eat crow and find a way to make it taste good. A little salt, a little hot sauce. Right. Crow's okay. Yeah. Depending on how it's prepared. But if you're married for a while, you're going to eat some damn crow.
That's the truth.
If you're a Panthers fan, you're going to eat some damn crow.
Even when you don't deserve it. Yeah. All right, next call.
What's up, C3 Podcast? This is your boy Frank from Raleigh. I am so hyped right now. Now, first of all, I want to say that I still need positive energy for Kyle Allen.
Like this call.
I feel like maybe I'm like 0.0001% of the reason why we did well today. Now, let me say something. Like I said in my last call, I've been a believer in North Turner, man. I believe in the scheme. Like, there's open wide receivers, and finally today we have seen a competent quarterback able to make the throws. Dude, Kyle Allen looked like a freaking MVP out there. It's against the Cardinals, defense, which isn't the top defense in the league. However, he just played the Bucs, which is, I would say, on par, and we looked like garbage. And today we looked unstoppable, and I don't know if this is true. We'll have to go back and check myself, but I think we might have only punted once all game. Every other drive we scored. We saw DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, Greg twice, 4 touchdowns on the day. He was an absolute star. So I'm really excited to hear what you guys think about what the Panthers do with the quarterback position going forward. I don't know if Carolina had Cam at the game, but from what I saw, he wasn't even at the game today, man. That's
I didn't see him
bad
one time.
Look.
What does that mean?
Star player to not even be at the game after that outing he had last week.
What do you get? How do you get treatment
for somebody that can throw
for a sore foot?
I'm really excited after watching this. Now,
why would you need to be with the football team?
We have a little bit of trouble with Kyler Murray. I wish we had played a little bit of more of a quarterback spy on Kyler. That being said, however, with Cliff Kingsbury's offense spreading it out so much, I know he makes that almost borderline impossible to have that extra guy just playing the quarterback spy. Dante Jackson, at the beginning of the game, I was talking a lot of shit about. He did not look good. He's doing that bullshit where he arm tackles, man, and I don't like to see it. Like, it's just bad tackling, you know? Like, nobody watches that and thinks he's good. And I'm sitting there going, I don't care about the interceptions. I don't care how fast he is. If the guy can't tackle, like, who cares? And he shut me up. 2 picks in this game. That second one looked like he could have jumped over a car to get that pick. And he basically duked him out because it was the same route that he got burned on earlier, where they do the fake screen and then they throw it over the top in the dead part of the zone. And, man, I'm just feeling it, dude. I feel good. This is the beginning of the year, and I know you guys felt the same way. We had so much optimism, and I feel like today we finally saw it. We have playmakers and talent on this team. Greg Little looked like an all-star out there. I think he screwed up one.
I think here's part 2 of the call.
Hey, fellas, this is Sarah.
All right, so let's go. All right,
girl Sarah right there.
Let's break this down. Is that, first of all, Tony is taking a beating in the chat room. A beating. And then, who was it? Is my man said he tried to call me. Now I feel like he's just trolling me. But they said I will never admit that I'm wrong. Do you guys really think that I have to say that Kyle Allen is good after seeing one game from him?
I mean, you should, because he played good.
I said he played well today. He played well today, but I mean, I've also
well
seen
against the worst team in the NFL last year.
Trent Richardson played well for a whole season.
Yeah. If anything, we know that Kyle Allen played competent football. He understands the playbook. He can do some things that need to be done in order for the team to move forward. That's the one thing that we definitely know for sure. And that alone should be enough to make everybody feel good, whether you're wanting to move on from Cam or you love Cam like us. So, I mean, it was a positive no matter what.
Yeah. All right.
And
what about Little, too? What do you think? Well, go ahead, Greg, and then we'll talk about
that. I was I think that I agree with Cody here that it's a positive, even though we don't have a lot to judge it off of. It's a positive seeing what happened from Kyle Allen. I'd like to see more of that in the future. It gives me hope that the team is right. Even if we had to someday change quarterback, I'm still a Cam guy. I don't believe Kyle Allen was our guy, but I'm still a Cam guy, and I think that this was a very positive vibe we got. It was our first win, y'all. First win.
And let me ask you this.
We talked about wins.
I want to ask these jokers in the chat room who say I'm not giving Kyle Allen his due. When I said he was trash, had he given us any reason to think he was any good in the preseason?
No.
Any?
No.
So is that today is the best I've seen him play. He did something like this last year. I just always thought the better of the two was the other guy that we list, Taylor Heineke. Anyway, look, hey, we got to win, and you needed to win this game. I'm excited about that. I am not worried what this is going to do for the future of our team when it comes to Cam Newton. I do think there is something, though, guys. Why isn't Cam traveling with the team? I mean, is this really – come on. I mean, like, is that – he's not getting treatment the whole time. Like, he's not getting his foot rubbed the whole time. I don't know if they just had a baby. I don't know that, and I'm not going back down that road again. But the other thing is, too, is that they said for his rehab, they thought it would be best he didn't travel. All right. What kind of injury is that really is that worrisome? Now, I guess maybe you don't want him standing on the sidelines. He has been a great cheerleader when he hasn't been in the past for players who have stepped in for him. You know, you've seen him in the preseason cheering for these guys, coaching them up. I don't know if there's anything to it. But it was not planned for him to go either. It wasn't like it was planned that he was going to be there and he didn't show up, because Ron Rivera said he wouldn't be traveling the team yesterday or Friday. So this was not new. You're listening to the anything. I think it might be too quick to say that Little looked like an all-star out there, but he really showed you how bad Darrell Williams looks.
Yeah. So by the way, it's funny. Kyle Allen was the number one quarterback in his class when it came out of high school. Greg Little was the number one offensive tackle recruit in the country at one point in time. He's always had the physical traits, everything that you want out of the position. He needed to add some polish, and hopefully you can see that happen soon. He did look good. I mean, it's hard to look bad when you're replacing Darrell Williams, of all people. But Greg Little did look good. I would say all-star. I'd pump the brakes on that one just a little.
But it was noticeable. It was a noticeable difference, though, because Williams was always beat from the start. Even when he was making the blocks, you could tell that he wasn't balanced had his balance. He was too slow on the get-off. His step, that first step, was weird looking. And Little was there when they were coming around the edge. He was able to hold them. So what I would say is last week, don't you think Little he wouldn't have made that guy from Tampa Bay all of a sudden look like he was an all-pro last week? Darrell Williams is a liability on this team right now, and it's time for the coaching staff to recognize just because someone is a liability doesn't mean you got to cut him. Like, demote him, push him, you know what I mean? Maybe he's got to earn his spot.
Ron doesn't play like that, man. Ron does not play like that. You're either the starter or you're a nobody.
That's so stupid. So
Trey Turner is injured now. It says Lynn says.
Lynn said that, but I hadn't seen that yet. I didn't know about that.
It must be, if that's the case, then yeah, that would be the solution, and that's one of the things that we continue to talk about prior to this season was the Little, Williams, Paradis, Trey Turner, Moton line. Well, now it might have to be put Williams in for whoever gets injured on those other spots. You're listening to the C3 Panthers podcast. The number's 252-228-5098. Got a lot of listeners tonight and a lot of callers. Let's go through them. I know Greg's excited about this call right here.
Yeah.
Hey, fellas, this is Sarah from Glen, formerly of Winterville. Just wanted to say, love the podcast. I have like a super long commute. Found you guys, love it. I just want to say, love my cats.
You.
Pounding, stay proud of them. I realize it's Arizona, not one of the best defenses, last offense in the league. But hey, a win is a win. A spark is a spark. It's still there. Glad to see Allen stepped up. He was balling, man. I mean, what can I say? Still have faith in Newton. Would like to see a little bit more out of him. Hopefully this will kind of give him a spark and not put him more down where he already is. But defense stepped up. O-line stepped up. Williams, why is he still playing? I don't know. But just want to say, totally proud of my Cats. I'm really happy to see the spark that Allen brought. He had the offense going. Olsen with his 2 TDs. in the back of the end zone, classic. Samuel looking good. Jackson, talk all the trash bump to. But Holmes had 2 interceptions. What can I say? But anyways, I just want to say, keep up the good work, fellas. Love it. Love listening to you guys. And just love Panther Nation. Keep pounding. Let's do this. Let's have a winning season. Bye, fellas.
Yeah, thank you for that call right there.
Wonderful to have some female energy in the cat calls from time to time. So.
Yeah, we have such great
I can
fans.
say that person right there in particular has been contacting me daily, talking about our show and my other show, and she's a great fan, and I'm glad to hear from her on the cat calls. So,
cool. Shout out to Sarah.
Yeah,
Brings
shout out to Sarah,
an excellent point up, though, that my wife brought up immediately when I said that Kyle Allen had 4 touchdowns today, right? And she said, man, you know that Cam must have been hurt when those were going down. And I don't know if he was or not. And I know that, look, and any jokers that are popping in here right at this point, hearing us talk about Kyle Allen on this show and giving him credit for today and saying that, hey, we can wait for Cam till he gets – you haven't really listened to us and what the love we have for Cam Newton. So at no point what I'm concerned with is that the Cam Newton I've seen in the last couple of weeks or maybe in the last year has not been the confident Cam to the point of where people called him cocky and arrogant. You know, there's a border between cocky, arrogant, and confident. And, you know, you got to just wonder mentally where he was today seeing that. And if he was okay with it, if he was excited by the performance Kyle Allen put together, excited by this team turning it around and getting their first W, I think that's a sign that he's stepping in the right direction physically and mentally. If this was something that, you know, kind of continued to shake his confidence, I think that could be the real issue or a big part of the issue. So we don't know. We're just speculating on all of that. But it can't feel great to see an offense click so well when you have been when it hasn't in those last weeks. But it is great to know that your team is not 0-3, and if you get right, maybe you can take over a team that's still in the running rather than coming back to a team that has fallen back behind. And this might be the perfect time for us. Tampa Bay losing. Did Atlanta fall today to Indy?
Oh, yeah, they did. They definitely did. And then the Saints, of course, they put up a bunch of points with Teddy Bridgewater against the Seahawks in Seattle. So that's par for the course. But other than that, every other division team lost.
All right. Well, look, is that's good news for us. Is that and here and another great point on the call, and I think I've been trying to make it all night is who cares if the Arizona Cardinals were bad? We would care if they were bad and we lost. But we're supposed to. These are wins we're supposed to get. And that was, I think, the problem with the Tampa Bay game. That was additional salt in the wound. I think we were able to understand it with the Rams. You know, we were not – if we would have lost today, I think this would have been a very difficult show for us. But instead, right now, I wonder is what type of success could we have even if Cam weren't to come back? Or if he comes back, can we continue with that momentum? Thanks for tuning in to the show, guys. Go ahead and subscribe, share. Let's keep going with your calls.
I didn't realize there was a time limit on these things. Anyways, I know I'm going on forever, dude. I could talk about this for 2 hours if I wanted to. Anyways,
we can
I
too.
I just want to say, man, I'm happy. I know y'all are excited. I bet everybody's feeling good. Keep pounding. I'm a believer in Norv. I'm not sold on Ron. But Cody, just hear me out, dude. This is what we thought we were going to get with Norv. And going back 8 games now, where Norv has had, well, I guess a little bit more than 8 games. We're going 9 games now. When Norv has had a healthy quarterback, we're 7-2. You know what I'm saying? Like, after that Pittsburgh game, he was dealing with a hurt quarterback, and then the first 2 games of this year, he's been dealing with a hurt quarterback. When he has a quarterback that's able to make the throws that we need to be able to make in an offense, we look almost unstoppable. So, anyways, I can't wait to hear y'all's thoughts, and I can't wait to hear how excited everybody's going to be. This is what we've been waiting for. It only took 3 weeks to get there, but that might have been the best offensive showing on today's Sunday's football game. So, anyways, take it.
I'm taking a thrashing in the YouTube chat, and people are nominating Cody to be our future head coach. How about that?
Down, dude, and give me an interview.
Yeah.
Let me shake some hands.
So does that mean that we assume that Tony is the head coach right now, and that everybody else? Because I would look at Tony as a GM. Like
Thank you.
He's the guy, or the owner, one of the two, running the franchise. So.
Well, listen. If I get a job with the Panthers, I'm hiring all of you. So there's that. You're all coming with me.
Here's the hierarchy: is Tony is the owner / GM / head coach. Cody is the offensive coordinator. I am the special teams wide receiver coach. So that's the way I look at it.
He's moving up. He's moving up through the ranks.
That's right. I'm moving up through the ranks.
And Nova Black is our Hall of Famer.
Yeah, there you go.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
I'll second that.
I did want to point out that Trey Turner said his ankle just got rolled up on. He says he'll be okay. So he's making it sound like it's not going to be a big deal. So there's your news update.
All right. Nice. Everybody's also citing how much I drink, so I should probably be in charge of refreshments. I have not.
Head of cheerleaders and booze.
I tell you, I could be the head of the cheerleaders in second.
I'll take the cheerleaders part.
All right,
I don't want to overburden him. I don't want to overburden him.
I did not drink a drop today, and I wonder hey, if we're superstitious, might not drink a drop next week either when it comes to the Panthers games.
Oh no!
I know. Will people like the show more or less? We'll figure that out. All right, let's keep pounding with these calls.
Hey, what's up, guys? Carlos is calling from the chat here. Fourth quarter going on, a few minutes left, maybe a minute to actually walk outside. Really excited for the guys to get this win, finally moving things in the right direction. This team is super talented in the 0-2 start. Wasn't a good representation of who we are, were, whatever. But I feel like the whole Cam thing, I'm seeing a lot of people on Twitter bashing Cam, saying Allen should start the rest of the year. I just don't think that's realistic. Cam doesn't look like he's been healthy all year. Let's let him sit for a while. Let's let Allen do what he can. Hopefully he continues to have success. Let's get number one back and try to make it into the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that's the reasonable point to have right there. Is just and I do want to caution people. And maybe this is what they're saying is like, hey, Tony won't ever admit when he's wrong or whatever. I didn't say either that Kyle was going to come out here and play bad today. I just said he wasn't going to be that he wasn't good. Now maybe I'm completely wrong on that, but I don't think one win where we get one competent quarterback play can negate all the things that Cam Newton has done for us and what he can still do. Now, does that mean that he's going to be the old Cam Newton? I don't know. Will he never be the same? I don't know. But I don't think we have enough evidence at this point to make real firm judgments other than what Carlton Cohen said in that call, which is a great one, is we like when, good for him, way to get number one right, and come back and let's see what happens then. Or hell, and if Kyle Allen just has a balling ass season, and he's the next Tom Brady, right? Stepping into it, maybe. I don't know if I'm ready to go there just yet, or anywhere close near that. But I think we got to be happy about this. Is that if we lost today, guys, you lose on the road to Arizona, start 0-3, Saints win. I think we're having a conversation. Is the season over?
Yeah,
right.
100%. 100%.
And we don't have to have that conversation yet.
We do not. And listen, I kind of want to say this too. When it comes to Norv Turner, I may have some strong opinions, but I'm not a know-it-all. I mean, listen, if the guy comes out and coaches us to a Super Bowl, I'll eat my words all day, every day. All right, I will open up for the choo-choo train.
And we've said over and over too on this show, every time Cody has gone on the fire Norv, it's over. Is that Cody is being true on this? Is that he didn't think it was the right answer to begin with, right? And there has been some moments too where there have been some question marks, right? But I think at the end of the day, what we saw is it's very difficult. And this is in fairness to Ron, and this is probably why Ron has a job this year, and all of these guys have a job this year, is we realize it's really hard to coach, to hold it over a coach's head when the players can't do or not doing what they need to be doing and executing too. So you saw today here is that, look, Norv Turner had some players that were executing. Here's the other thing, though, is that Norv at this point did not get befuddled with the pass rush. And that has been a problem in these couple of weeks, is how did you compensate when Darrell Williams was not playing well? And there wasn't a lot of compensation. Cam was not doing the right things all the time, or things to make it any easier. But today, I don't think that there was anything exceptional about today's coaching either, right? I mean, if you looked at, I'm not saying it was bad or good, is that I didn't go, wow, we really just out-schemed them completely. I didn't walk away feeling like that, because Arizona was able to move the ball. We were really, the good thing is that we were getting home on our pass rush without blitzing, and that is exciting to see for once. But it was not like we were just all of a sudden the favorites to win the Super Bowl at this. Is that the coaches coached, they did their job today, the players did their job today, and we got a W. Let's be happy about that, moving on like we're moving on to this next call.
True that.
Yeah, man, it's Jeremy from Swansboro. Man, Kyle Allen looks legit. Looks like we got a little quarterback going on. The defense looked pretty good today. Dante Jackson showed out a little bit. I still think he needs to clean up his tackling a little bit, and I think he'll be a lot better. And Christian Miller, wow. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Another beast coming out on defense. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Hopefully we'll keep this up next week. Keep pounding.
Keep pounding. Shout out to Susan Deans for her $15 love bomb. You know we love you, Susan. We haven't even mentioned our boy Christian McCaffrey yet, man. Dude,
that's
Christian
what's great about
McCaffrey.
this. That's what's great, dude. We've been recording for over an hour, and we haven't talked about Christian McCaffrey yet.
Dude, those are good problems to have, aren't they?
Good problems to have, yep.
I don't have the stat line in front of me. I don't know if you do, Greg. But I know he went for over 138 yards. I think he's probably over 150. Dude, that long run for a touchdown. Dude, Christian McCaffrey wants all the smoke. He heard everything everyone was talking about him not being strong enough and not being able to run right in between the middle. Dude, McCaffrey is a baller, man. That dude does not give up on the play.
Yeah. You know what the craziest part of his stat line today was? Only 3 catches. But he did have 100. He had 24 carries for 153 yards. He did break the giant one, right? And boy, that's what you want to see. You see Christian McCaffrey hit a couple more home runs like that, and make it the Sports Center and catch the eyeballs of some of those other guys, some of the national names. You know, Saquon Barkley, by the way, hurt in today's game. I've been saying that I believe Christian McCaffrey is going to be the best running back in the entire league this season, and he has not disappointed us. But I think Cody's exactly right, guys, is that he is playing with some real dog in him. And he's making, and there were some plays there that should have gotten nothing, and he was able to make them into positive plays.
Yep.
That first drive where he just rose right up the middle for 6 yards on the very first carry of the game, it didn't even look like there was a hole, and all of a sudden everybody is 6 yards down the field. Christian McCaffrey has been sensational, and he wasn't sensational last week because Tampa Bay said this: we're taking him out of the game. And and really, he was good today because Kyle Allen was able to make the defense so they couldn't just single in on him. Big time game, big time season so far for Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. Well, I'm calling Christian McCaffrey the gaper because he will gape that hole. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter how tight it is, he will gape that hole. Christian McCaffrey will do it. That is his new nickname, is the gaper.
Yeah.
He may not like it, but I do.
I would. I tell you this: if somebody called you that, you would be like, "Yes, sir. Yes,
sir. Exactly."
Here's the next call.
Hey, this is Joe from Orchid. Happy as hell we just got to the W. Don't care that it was versus Arizona. We still got to come up there and play. And we played decent. The offense was amazing. I mean, I couldn't have asked more for the offense than last. I mean, I wish at the end they would have kept the tempo up, but whatever. Conservative, trying to get the W.
we looked good. I'm happy we got the W finally. We just looked
Finally.
really, really good. I'm happy we got that W. Looking forward to listening to y'all tonight. Keep coming.
All right, let's keep going with the calls.
Hey boys, it's CK from up here in Roanoke.
Yeah,
calling in
CK.
to finally have something positive to say about the team. I'll tell you what, the only thing I'm not going to hammer down too much onto it, because it's going to be the question mark that everybody's thinking, is do we address the quarterbacks at this point? I hate saying it. I hate with a passion having to say it, but I mean, there is a night and day difference, and it's not coaching. It wasn't the game plan. It was the quarterback. And, you know, if I want to come away with one opportunity that we could maybe get better on, is we were not stopping this offense for the first, half. And, obviously they came out for their first drive. We dominated them after that. But I was not happy with our defense up until the, middle of the third quarter after our first drive. Tate Jackson, he was just a mixed bag today, right? Missed tackles, got some great tackles, and then that second interception was insane. And I'm not going to lie, and not to draw comparisons, but it reminded me a lot of that Josh Norman interception on the Saints.
It did.
In our
The way he got up.
2015 season.
Yeah, it did.
Where he had to basically climb the ladder to get it. But that was an awesome interception. I got super excited for it.
11 foot
but
high.
nonetheless, I know Cody the entire game was talking about coaching. I think our offensive coaching won the game. Our defensive coaching adjusted for the first time in my life that I think I can remember them adjusting the way they were playing the game plan. And they came out and they dominated the second half. So I don't know, man. Winning cures a lot of things, so we'll see what happens from here on out. But peace out, boys. Keep pounding.
Really, that's a real call from CK right there. Well done. Tough call. Also, thanks to Carl D for the support of the show. And go ahead and smash the thumbs up button. Call into the show, 252-228-5098. Whoever I put in the comment jail gave us a thumbs down. But guess what? Y'all don't know that thumbs down actually promotes your show just as much as thumbs up. So I don't even care. Hit a thumb.
Nah.
Now, I think that's a real call right there, because really is that we have seen a quarterback who has been hindered, who hasn't been able to do the things NFL quarterbacks are supposed to be able to do on a regular basis. Today, what we saw was a quarterback that gave us a chance to win. Now, what that really means for Cam and where he's been at, I think it was, I saw someone, and I just responded to him why I don't remember their name. At this point, they said, look, going back to this, does this ask us, we need to be asking, how long has it been since Cam Newton has really been right? And that is the truth, because Kyle Allen was, he's just pushing the ball. I mean, the ball had zip on it, right? He looked like he was looking, keeping his eyes downfield, and good for him. He did not panic today. I thought he had excellent pocket presence when things were getting tight. He did not just crumple like we have seen players. He played like he had been there before. He did have a great game, but I think CK's on to something. I don't think our defense was that great in the first half. And they were moving the ball. Now, the coaches, did they adjust? Did the offense keep us around long enough for us to make those defensive adjustments? But that defense at first, and is there anything to say once we start pulling ahead too? How many times has Carolina been playing from behind, and it's been difficult for us to deal with the pass rush because everybody knows we're passing and our offensive line ain't that good? I think we saw the Arizona Cardinals get in that situation. And you really want to ask the question, you said to me earlier, I think Greg asked me, with Allen, would we have won games 1 and 2? You know what I think would have helped us win games 1 and 2 just as much is playing from ahead. We played from behind the whole time, and it put us in a position that really exposed our weaknesses. Darrell Williams
changed the strategy. Yep.
Yeah, Darrell Williams being one of those, and I think that that's what really benefited this defense today against the Arizona Cardinals, because we weren't just smothering Kyler Murray. He had enough time. There were a lot of coverage sacks and different things, but being ahead gives your defense more of a bead on what those guys are going to be doing, puts them in a corner. I think we saw that today.
Agreed. I think that especially with this call right here with a guest who's been on the show and a guy we talked to, CK, it means a lot more because okay, look, let me ask you, if you can go back and look at the first two games and you can set the timing routes or the time that Cam Newton has in the first two games as opposed to the time and protection that Kyle Allen had in this game, would you say it was the same? I think if Cam Newton had the protection and the time that Kyle Allen had in this game, it would have changed the game up. Now, I'm not trying to make excuses, and I understand things are different. It's a different team. Arizona's not that great. I know, Ed Smith, we talked to him last week, and I hate to talk trash about his team, but they're not that great. They're a young team coming up. Do you think that had Cam played in this game, would we have had the same result?
But I mean, I
don't think he's ready.
But here we go again. What Cam are we talking about?
Right.
I mean, if it's a healthy, ready to go, strong Cam Newton, yeah, this is Cam Newton's team. But I mean, listen. Then you also look at, the offensive line was bad against the Rams. It was bad against Tampa Bay.
Right.
And Darrell Williams was bad. But then there are also the throws in both of those games that Cam Newton just missed layups for whatever reason. That's why it's kind of hard for me to say yes or no either way, because Cam just missed some throws, and people call me and Tony Cam Newton apologists. I'm not apologizing for him. It might have been because of the injury, but Cam did miss some layups. So but if Cam's injury has been such a problem, then yeah, maybe Allen would have helped. It's impossible to know. If my aunt had nuts, she'd be my uncle. It's all ifs. We don't know.
Well, I think my point about playing ahead though is a reasonable one because when you're in passing situations, Cam. How about this? Is that if we have Cam Newton and he is at the top of his game, right? Or not, even if we got a good Cam Newton, right? Is that you don't get some of the threat that Cam Newton offers if you're always in passing downs, right? And it kind of looks like it's like a team that has a great running attack. The best way to negate it is to get ahead of them early. And then it becomes really hard for an offensive coordinator to call runs when you're down by 14. And in this case, that's what happens to the Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals, part of their offense is all built and predicated on playing like that all the time. So that's some of their own problems. Their offensive line is problematic. They are an air raid attack. They're not trying to run the ball. But you saw, guess who gave us a little fits at times, and that was David Johnson. When they got the ball to him, and he was able to do some things. But I think it's a lot easier to bottle up Christian McCaffrey when you guys are in third and long and behind 14 points. But when you're playing ahead and they can hit you with the run, they can motion those guys out, they can do a bunch of different things, they can take some shots deep without it killing you, because that's what's been problematic, guys, is that you take a shot, it's 3rd and 7, and Cam misses it, and it feels like it ruins the whole game going forward. But if you're up 10 points and you miss on 3rd and 7, you walk out there, you punt the ball, and you ask your defense to keep you in it. And we 100%. Haven't been able to do that in the first two games. Yep. And a lot of that has been because Cam hasn't been right too, or part of it. But go ahead.
No, I'll give you that. That's 100%. You're exactly right, man. Everything is situational. Every game and everything you play is situational in this game. Imagine, just imagine, had we pulled game 1 and 2 out, would we be saying the same things about Cam and this team that we are now? It would totally change the narrative. Everything that happens in the end result is what creates the narrative of what we're going to talk about.
Well, I tell you, I was very angry.
The fact that we're 0-2 makes Kyle Allen winning game 1 that much better, you know? Whereas had we been 2-0 and Cam Newton gone down, we would not be as ecstatic about Kyle Allen having this game. Even though he had a great game, I don't want to take away from him, but those kind of things change the narrative, and you're absolutely right. It's all what happens. There's so many factors into what we feel and how we feel about the way things play out and the way the future is going to be. It's almost impossible to predict.
Yeah, Pete Thomas is right. It was the Cardinals, and And you guys, Cody knows I was there at his house after the game. We did the post-game show, and I was mad after the first game because I thought that we squandered an opportunity. You think about this, is you pull that game out, Cam Newton is not right in week 2 against the Bucs, but then you lose that, and you're sitting here at 2-1, and you're right in it until to win it. We're not behind now, but you're right. You cannot squander opportunities in the NFL, and I think today is a great example of that. The Panthers didn't. Let's keep going through with these calls.
Hi, guys. This is the Den Mom. Just wanted to say, go Panthers. Keep pumping. Bye.
Thank you, Susan Dean, for that call. She's the den mother. She's keeping us all in line. Her and Lynn has always helped keep me in line because sometimes Tony gets a little out there with his opinions. They have a good job of keeping us in line, keeping us straight. Let's see what the next call's got.
What's up, C3? This your boy Noah Black, and I ain't got but 2 words for you. Panthers win!
That's it. Nice. Way to go, Nova. Way to go, Nova. Panthers, and isn't that the kind of the demoralizing part about this, having to have this discussion, is that it becomes so much about Kyle Allen and Cam, and it's hard for us to just focus on this. The Panthers got their first W today.
Yeah. Hell,
dude. We got to be happy.
We're 1 game back. Yeah, one game back from the lead.
We do a Carolina Panthers podcast, and our offense came on out of nowhere after being dead for 2 weeks in a row. All the semantics and the bullshit aside, Panther fans are happy. I'm happy. You should be happy if you're a Carolina Panthers fan, man. Celebrate.
Yeah.
We had a victory.
Look at it like this. The Patriots are 3-0, right? We have almost as many points as they do through the first 3 games.
Yeah.
We really do. I think they have like 96 points in the first 3 games. We
That's
have like
not
87.
Right. No
like
way.
Very close.
No way.
I'm just saying.
They put up
it's all circumstantial
against somebody.
And the Patriots have played the Jets and the Dolphins. Or
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You cannot look at numbers all the time and call that as an ultimate.
It's way too early.
And just to remind you, we've played the Cardinals and the Bucs. But all right, keep going.
Panther Podcast, how y'all doing? This is G Cavassier.
What's up, G?
Hey, man, I am so happy we got that win. Man, I'm so happy we got that win. But you see the way we won that game with that damn defense? Oh, my God, man. 8 sacks, 2 interceptions. That's the Carolina Panthers I know, man.
Yes,
That's
it
the
is.
Carolina Panthers I know.
Buddy,
I'm still saying get rid of Eric Washington. Let him be the defensive line defensive line coach. He don't need to be the damn defensive coordinator. Leave that up to Ron Rivera or whatever. What about Kyle Allen, though, man? Holy shit, man. That dude threw 4 damn touchdowns, man. I'm telling you, man, that dude looked nice.
He played
I'm
against
not
the college defense.
saying that we should get rid of Cam or nothing like that because, let's be honest, Kyle Allen played a good game, but 2 words for every Panther fan that can remember a couple of years ago, Matt Moore. Y'all remember Matt Moore? Y'all remember when Jake was having his little problems and Matt Moore came in and everybody was like, oh, then Matt Moore looked like shit and he got shipped out of town. So I'm happy for the win. And always remember, man, keep pounding.
He's right. It's right. Lynn said this in the chat room. It's been so long. I almost forgot what it was like to be happy. It was, and maybe that's something for this team.
Beautiful.
It's been so long for us as a team to feel what success was. And I heard the broadcasters talking about that afterwards with Kyler Murray, a guy who has never faced any adversity, right? And not that's not the right what I meant. A guy that's never had failure as part of his sports career, right? He has won everywhere, never lost a high school game, only lost 3 games in college. He is so, and we saw this. Another person that happened to was Cam Newton. Cam Newton, when he came in, we were wondering, how does Cam Newton deal with adversity, deal with times not winning? And that was a big part in his career. I think he did well with it early on and was able to overcome some of those early struggles. But it can get in your head. And guys who have not had any of that difficulty or challenge, that's a time where you're going to learn a lot about them as a player. And look, let's just be happy. Maybe this team gets a win under their belts. We get a little momentum. Maybe that helps boost Cam's confidence. And 6 weeks from now, Cam is out there wheeling and dealing. But be happy for Kyle Allen. let's just be optimistic that this team has got something to play for next Sunday now. You're listening to the C3 Panthers podcast. The number's 252-228-5098. Let's push through with the calls.
Panther podcast, how y'all doing? This is G. Cavassier. Hey,
Wait,
man.
that's the same call. Next call.
Damn, boys. Dane from New York. Feeling good. Happy about this day for sure. It's a great game. I'm really happy. My ice up pick, that's what I want to get to first, is my man Cliff. Where the fuck did your timeouts go in the second half, bro? You, like, what?
Didn't need him.
He wasted all of his timeouts in like 2 minutes. 25 and 59. My boys, Eric Reed, Kuechly, worked really well together this game. I liked what I saw.
26 and 59.
Addison, Christian Miller, and my man Action Jackson had huge games. Defense looked great, boys. Try not to overreact, but it's a really, really bright day. Keep pounding, boys.
Yeah,
keep pounding, man.
Great call.
Hey guys, this is DJ and Raleigh. Good, solid win we needed for our first win of the season today. Proud of these guys. Kyle Allen did what he needed to do. Didn't try to do too much. Did what he needed to do. Completed open passes. Completed the people.
Agreed.
Proud of him. Did what he needed to do.
Yep.
Greg Olson, G-Reg with a third leg, was out there balling today. Looking like 2015 Greg.
Yeah.
I want to see more of that.
Is it 8-4?
Well, other than that, complete Dante Jackson out there, 2 picks. Defense, they gave up some plays, but for the most part, they did pretty good. We needed this. This is a good win that we needed.
Yeah,
and I'm proud of these guys. After what happened last Thursday, I was told that, but this is what we needed. So proud of these guys. So, love the podcast. Love you guys. Keep pounding.
Thanks for your support, Cody. Talk about that for a moment in that call. How does today's game? Because the way we won, I think, is important. It was a team effort, right? The defense played well or played good enough. The offense came to, showed some life, some signs of life. I think you even saw on the faces of the coaches that sigh of relief, particularly with Ron Rivera. Speak of how the way we won today particularly can help this team gain confidence and maybe learn how to win more in the future.
It's such a morale boost, man. We got everyone involved. DJ Moore had a touchdown. Curtis Samuel had a touchdown. Greg Olsen had a touchdown. Christian McCaffrey had a touchdown. Our defensive line has 8 sacks. Dante Jackson has 2 interceptions. Man, this is what you call a get-right game, man. Yep. I mean, it's the kind of confidence booster that you need right now. Early in the NFL season, your entire season was on the line. I mean, you were about to be 0-3 if you didn't have this against one of the worst teams in football, to be frank. So, yeah, man, this could not have come at a better time. I mean, it's really important. It's a morale boost. Now the team has more reason to believe in themselves that the first 2 games were more of an anomaly and they have the potential to be a dominant football team. And it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And we have the opportunity to finish on our own terms. And that's huge what happened today for our morale boost.
Yeah. I got to touch on that. I agree. It's completely changes the outlook of the season.
Right.
Here's the thing. Let's imagine that we play game 1 against the NFC champions, the contenders of the Super Bowl. We lose by 3 points where we possibly could have won that game. And then we win game 2, and then we win this game. So we're 2-1. We've played one really good team that we could have beaten. Do you guys feel confident in our season? Do you guys feel like that going forward in the future that we are going to be a force to be reckoned with?
Oh, yeah.
Like it changes everything up. The fact that we won this game. Had we won the last game, had we ran Cam Newton for a half a yard on goal line, and Cody, I'm going to go with you on this one. I'm not a big guy. I'm not on your hill yet about the coaching. I'm not on your hill yet, but I'm starting to climb that hill.
All right.
Because I feel that way. I feel like we could be 3-0 right now. We really could. Or we could be 0-3. Like, our season has ended up, we could be 0-3 or 3-1 or 3-0 right now.
And that's such a good point because we don't know who this football team is yet.
Right.
Even after those 3 games, man, I mean, listen, Houston Texans, in my opinion, that's a thermometer game.
Agreed.
That's going to tell you the temperature of this football team. Houston beat the Chargers today and came back to do it. And Deshaun Watson.
They're a good team. Deshaun Watson is the real deal. You know what I'm saying?
And Deshaun Watson is looking to have a ball-out season, man. So, I mean, listen, we have a very stiff test on the road for the 2nd week in a row. But, yeah, I mean, we don't know who this team is yet. And it's okay to say that.
I want to bring up this point. I'm going to do some digging real quick to elaborate upon it. But I think it was Joey. It was Joey Esquivel in the chat room said at some point we need to talk about how clean of a game this was. Lack of penalties, right? We didn't have a lot of penalties on our team. I think we had 3 penalties for 35 yards. One was a personal foul penalty on a face mask that should have been a 5-yard penalty. I think they called the 15-yard penalty on that. You also had something in a kickoff return. By the way, shout out to Ray. Ray about to take it to the house there. Took a
Ray McLeod, that's my Clemson boy, man. I love him.
So, you had that. But this is the thing, this is what happens. And I think to play a little bit to Cody and his suspicion about Norv is that, when your players don't turn over the ball, right? And they don't commit a bunch of dumb penalties, you can be in a position to where your play calls work. You're playing ahead of the sticks. And that's what we did today. We played ahead of the sticks. We were not, and that's another point maybe to credit our coaching staff is that Kyle Allen played so well today because we didn't put him in impossible situations either. There was no 3rd and 40, or whatever we've seen in the past where right when we're catching some momentum, we had a penalty that threw our juju off. So it has, but CK said it earlier, is that really this shows you like what, this was the difference today was quarterback play, but there were a lot of other small things that went into this. The opponent, their problems. They had more penalties than we did. And I think the thing that shows this was a clean game, guy, is I set the post-game show to start at 7:30, and the game was over at 7. Other games were still playing, and we were just able – the clock didn't stop a lot in this game for either team. And I think for the Cardinals, they had one of their better games. There had been a penalty machine, so 7 penalties for them was a good day today. So good win. And you just got to take your W's, you take your medicine when you get the L, and we move on to next week. But I think you're exactly right, Cody. The Houston game is the measuring stick. And if they're not the measuring stick because their offense, it's going to be, their offense can put up points. Wait until we play Jacksonville because their defense is no joke. Yeah. Their defense is legit. And you saw how foolish they made the Titans look. And that's all about the defense there. And that would be the team here. If Kyle Allen can survive that game, that's what I'm also worried about is Kyle Allen hasn't been thrown to the turf. What happened last time? The first time either one of these guys were thrown to the turf, they died last year. They were both injured. Taylor, all of them left with injury last year. So we'll see. But, man, you got to be happy that we got a W, and I hope we can continue with it. Next call.
Hey, guys, sorry, this is your den mom again. Forgot to say so. Glad we snubbed out that Rugrat Kyler Murray.
She calls him a Rugrat. All right, next call, 252-228-5098.
Hey, guys, Josh from Mass here.
Josh
from Mass.
Got to hear from him.
Nice to see the offense click. Nice to see the defense do some nice things. 2 picks off of Kyler Murray. I mean, he's a rook. And they probably shouldn't be playing him this early into his NFL career, but it is what it is. Like I said, glad to see the win, glad to see some change from losing, but I do believe we need to temper expectations going into the future. We need to be realistic about what's going on here. All right. Yes. Allen looked good tonight. Well, today. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with enjoying it. But let's be real. He was up against the number 31 defense in the league. That's second from last.
Yeah.
Let that sink. Let that sink in. Let it marinate. Okay? Is this kid a solid backup? Absolutely. Is he ready for prime time? Well, anybody who says that is higher than the Rocky Mountains. Okay? Let's just be real. That's all I'm asking here. Let's be honest. And Greg Little looked real good today. Glad to see it. So a lot of good things to be talked about tonight on the podcast, and hope to hear about it. Hope to see you all in there. Keep pounding.
Keep pounding, brother.
Yeah.
Keep pounding, man.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think we've all kind of said it a bunch of times at this point. It's good to be happy for Kyle Allen, but we also need to pump the brakes. I mean, and listen, this is not for us. This is for the people that have never liked Cam Newton.
Because they're gonna latch on and say, "We told you, we were right."
Yeah, they call him the F-150 truck having mofos that just have been wanting to move off of Cam Newton forever. Anyone that talks about the Panthers on Facebook, put it that way. So yeah, I mean, listen, that's where the controversy is gonna come from. But yeah, we're happy to know that we have a competent backup that can do the job and move the football. We're not completely inept. How about this? He's already better than Derek Anderson's ass ever was.
Amen. I was not.
Okay. You say that.
All right.
I remember 2 years ago. I remember 2 or 3 years ago us talking about on this podcast. Y'all talking about. I wasn't on here yet. I was listening about Derek Anderson being the best backup quarterback in the NFL. So hindsight is a bitch. I'm just saying. Derek Anderson is the best backup quarterback in the NFL, and now I wouldn't sign him for anything. So
well, I mean, he's also like 20 years older than he was with us in 2013. Actually, 6 years older. But I think too, we need to pump the brakes on Kyle Allen. In this is that we don't even know if it's a competent back. He had a good game today, and I'm excited that he's going to keep on building this. The thing that maybe I'm wrong on at this point, or if we get another win against a good team, is that I thought that without Cam our season was a flop. Right now we were able to win without Cam, and that's what we've wanted our backups to do. And we've continued to say, well, we thought that maybe signing a more legitimate back, or a guy that had more experience in the past would have been a good idea, because there was an idea with that Cam has been dealing with these injuries that he could miss 2 or 3 games in the season, even if he had a healthy season. And if that happened, you didn't want to just immediately regress so far that you lost everything you had built to that point. But right now, I'm not ready to jump on board of anybody's bandwagon other than this, is that I was a little bit overly optimistic for this whole team coming into the season. And these first 2 weeks were very difficult on me emotionally and psychologically about the confidence I had in this team. And this is the first step we've had in the positive direction. Why that is, it's a bunch of different factors, but not pump the brakes, guys. It's just like it's time to hit the gas and move on to next week. Right? Yeah, that's what we got to do, is like no pumping brakes, right? Let's freaking push the gas and let's get this car rolling with some momentum. And if Cam comes back healthy, let's be happy. And if he doesn't, let's see what happens with what we got. And there we go from there.
Yeah, we haven't won anything. We haven't lost anything. We haven't proven anything to anyone. We got too much football left to play. Our guys got their confidence back. They feel like they can go in and just have fun. Hey, Kyle Allen was smiling a whole bunch. And listen, you're playing the game for a living, albeit a brutal one. Our team is having fun, and now we can have some hope about this football team.
We're still in the division.
Yeah,
we're still in the division.
We have hope today, right now, that we did not have when we woke up this morning. So
literally next week, we can win a game and be at the top of our division.
Yeah,
that's how crazy it is. We can be number one in the division next week with a win.
We managed to avoid the real fear I had. And the real fear I had is that Kyle Allen comes out and throws 3 picks today, and we lose one where you let a team that you were better than, you would think, beat you. That was my real fear. I didn't care how we won today. I didn't care if Kyle Allen would have 4 yards passing. We just needed a W. Now, the way that we were able to get in team effort was a big deal, but it could have been catastrophe had we lost this game. So push the gas. Let's get back in it. The division is in our hand, but today you lose. If you lost this game today, what would have our conversation been? It's time to tank. It's
Season over. Yep, time to tank.
Yeah,
I agree.
So it's
Season
crazy,
over.
and this I think has been Greg's point for the last maybe 30 minutes. When he keeps talking about like, hey, what if we would have won this game? That's how close it is. It's 1 game away from the season being a disaster, and it's 1 game away from this being excited about. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 calls left. There, not all of them are super long. Let's go through maybe 5. Next call.
Let's knock them out. Yeah.
Hey, C3, what's going on? Had to make this quick phone call. Yeah, man, really impressed with Kyle Allen. He did really good. And I'm not here bashing Cam, but I feel like with Cam play, he's too emotional. Because when things ain't going his way, I think that affects the team. But with Kyle, even though he's fumbled early in the game, he was able to come back, make plays. He was upbeat throughout the game. That positive energy, the defense was able to feed off of that. And I love Cam. He brought a lot to Carolina. But when things are good, things are good. When things go bad, his demeanor, the way he looks on the sideline, that brings the whole team down. Right now, we just need a positive quarterback. And today, Kyle Allen was that, and he did his thing. Defense showed up. That's all I got. Thanks.
Yeah, a bunch of crackers won it for you.
Hey, that's racist.
Let me add.
Yes, it is.
Let me add again. This is your boy G Baby from Roy, Utah. Hey, the Atlanta pussy ass Falcons lost. Hey.
Nice. I like it.
Hey, it's about to be a good week at work. Hey, let's go, Carolina Panthers faithful, baby. Keep y'all's heads up. I know I was down last week, but it's a new week, baby. It's a new week, and I'm feeling great, and I can't wait to go to work. Hey.
I said I can't.
I'm not gonna lie. I can't wait to go to work.
I love Utah, holding it down, baby. Deep, baby, and I'm finally out. And hey, and let me say I'm gonna get a little puff past this motherfucker. Let's go!
Yeah.
Great call. Way to rack it up, guys. I think the only thing that could have really truly made this day better is Seattle finding a way to beat New Orleans. How do these guys continue to win? Is that a referendum? How about this? Is anybody talking junk about Russell Wilson not being able to pull it out against the backup quarterback? Ooh,
no. Nobody,
right.
Nobody will say that.
He's good. Russell Wilson is good. That's why we're not going to say
Russell Wilson is good. I'll give you that.
But
nobody will bring up the fact that he couldn't pull that game out. Nobody will bring the fact up that Tom Brady missed a wide open guy by 6 yards today. And I brought it to my dad because my dad's a Cam Newton hater. Dude, there are so many players in the NFL that get so many more passes than Cam Newton does, and it's insane. I don't want to say it's the race card. I don't want to say that. But there's a little bit of that has to do with it. The fact that he's a black quarterback, I just can't stand seeing the bias. Like, I don't mind anybody who they are, no matter what you believe in, no matter what you think.
There's bias. Of course there's bias. Remember when everybody said Teddy Bridgewater was trash and he was the best quarterback in that class? Remember there were no Lamar Jackson, help me out. Not Lamar Jackson. Deshaun Watson. Again, he's the guy there. Patrick Mahomes looks like he's I don't know. I'm just saying this is that there are those things, and there are some guys right now that could tear down those preconceptions. I think Kyler Murray could be one of those guys. He really just is a beautiful. Looks like just has a. he reminds me of a miniature Patrick Mahomes when you just see how fluid the motion is and how they can sling it. But yeah, there is something to it. Let's just be happy today, and let's be happy that we are still in this divisional race.
Yeah.
Hi. What's up, C3? This is Cody. I'm back. I'm back from calling in earlier today. Cody, I think you need to, you don't never respond on your Twitter. I think you would tweet. I tried to catch you before the show. I just heard that, like I say, Allen did good today. But Cody, your boy needs to, whatever's happening with Cam, he needs to, get his mind straight and stuff together, because if Cal play like this for the next game or the next couple of games, things are really going to be interesting. And that caller gave his conspiracy theory about Tapper could have set Cam down and said that. I like that theory. I hope that theory is true. What do you guys think if Cam sticks out for the rest of the year? Give me your guys' thoughts. You haven't really talked and conversated about that topic. What do you think? If Cam sits out for the year, the rest of the year, what is your thoughts on that? Will it be good for the team's future, or what do you think? Let me know. All right, keep up.
So let me jump in here.
Do it.
Carl, I did respond to you on Twitter. You asked me when we're going live, and I responded to you and said right now. So I did respond to you on Twitter. And number one, that there's more that goes into that question. It depends on what our record is at the end of the year. If Cam Newton sits out all year and Kyle Allen plays, and we go to the playoffs, well, then it's a hard scenario to think about Cam Newton starting again when you only have to pay him $2 million next year. Now, if we're talking about a team that misses the playoffs or we're middle of the pack, then yeah, Cam Newton he deserves to play out the final year of his contract and ball out or fizzle out. But I do not foresee a scenario where Cam Newton is sitting out the entire year. It's not something I want to happen. I just want him to be healthy and come back and ball out in this offense.
I would say what complicates the question of what to do with Cam a little bit, right, is that there's a couple of ways this is going to pan out. Is that Cam turns out there's something going on. We don't know what it is. Maybe it's health, whatever it is, and he doesn't come back to the team, which we don't have any reason to believe that that's the case at this point. But,
nope.
And then the team does well, right? Then you have the same thing that could happen. He doesn't come back this season because he's not ready or whatever it may be, and we do terribly, right? But then all it comes down to this is wherever you're at that point, what if Cam Newton plays well at the end of the season? It really comes down to how do you feel about his health? Are there real issues going on with his health going forward? The team has an opportunity to get out of the final year of his contract next year with limited punishment. But if that's the case, then you're really talking about we are trying to rebuild. Now, it might be the time to rebuild because, Cody, you've continued to say that this coaching staff is on the hot seat, right? What do you do when you rebuild? You bring in a new general manager. You bring in a coach that he picks, and you give them potentially their pick of the direction that they want to take this team in the next few years. You've commented on that with Lincoln Riley, but there is a middle ground too, as you bring in somebody and you say you got Cam Newton for a year. Let's see what happens. And then what do you do? I don't know. I think you're right on the money, Cody. There's a lot of factors that we have to see pan out before we can really truly answer that question.
Yeah, it's too early to tell. Everyone in the chat room, give us an audio check. They were saying that our audio, the volume is low. It dipped down for some reason. So
okay. Well,
yeah.
Cody, let me ask you real quick, based on what Tony just said. I know you're a big Lincoln Riley guy, and I understand he has Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield and all these guys coming out of the Pac-12 or whatever he's in. that are amazing. What do you think he's gonna do if he comes into a NFL franchise and he has a quarterback that is 4-12 in his first season? Like, I'm trying to think. What if he has a reality check? What if he doesn't have a top 5 high school recruit coming in? He has to come into a defense that is different than anything in college. What do you think is going to happen with Lincoln Riley if he is put into the Panthers offense with the system we have right now?
Well, one, if we're gonna commit to someone like Lincoln Riley, you have to. You can't do him like they did Steve Wilkes in Arizona. You can't let him have a year and then kick him to the curb. And then, of course, I mean, listen, I don't evaluate quarterbacks based on their first year in the NFL. Coaches, I mean,
but we do in college.
Well, you want instant results, but it's just not always going to be that way. Players need time, coaches need time to gel and implement their system. My love affair with Lincoln Riley as a coach is that he understands how to utilize the talent that he has and coach it up to be better. And he's proven to do so time and time again. People said that the offense is a gimmick or whatever. The Patriots, Philadelphia, so many teams are starting to do this and implement those kinds of concepts. Tom Brady is almost never under center. Never. I mean, so they're doing it in the NFL. It's about how you implement that into the NFL. I'm positive that with enough time and with the kind of personnel, Riley could do the same thing for Cam Newton. But, I mean, is that going to happen? I don't know. But, I mean, as someone that looks at the X's and O's, there's a lot to love about that kind of offense when you implement it in the correct way. And I believe Lincoln would do that.
So you think Riley can fix our offense?
Well, I mean, hey, it might not be broken. Maybe I'll turn out to be wrong about Norv Turner. But
it's broken.
But then if it's broken and Norv Turner is not the guy, then why not bring in an offensive-minded head coach, someone that wants to do something new?
I'll give you that. If it's broken, fix it. I'll give you that.
Yeah. If it's broke, you have to fix it somehow.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens,
All right, you're listening to the C3 Panthers podcast. 2 more calls to go.
What's going on, guys? This is Shake and Bake. I just wanted to say that
Shake and Bake. What's up?
Shake and
Kyle
Bake.
Allen, he did what a backup does, came in, filled in, threw some good passes. Greg Little should get a little recognition as well, because it was some good protection out there for him to complete the passes that he did. But Cam's still the man to me. Let the man heal. We played the Arizona Cardinals. This is not. It's like beating a Miami Dolphins. Like Arizona's not going to beat nothing. That's not a good enough litmus test for me.
Yep.
We'll see again next week versus Houston. That should be a little bit more of a test for Kyle Allen to really see where he's at. But still waiting for Cam to he'll have to come back and show y'all who the man is.
He almost had that pick, didn't he? Myles Garrett, by the way, 5 sacks through 3 games. The other thing is, one other thing to bring up about that, what I did like about Kyle Allen today was, didn't he look loose? And if I want to remind you guys, they said there was something like 30 of his friends and family there because he's from that area, right? He's from now. The last time I heard something similar to that was Devin Funchess going back to Detroit, where he had 30 family members, right? And and guess what he did? He did not look loose, right? He had that record drop for that day. So what we got is that's some good things right there. Is that, hey, you can only do what you only play the game that you have at your fingertips, right? You can't play better opponents. You got to beat the opponents that are in front of you. He looked loose.
Well, I could say that in Arizona specifically, I know Cam Newton won a national title in Arizona, I think, and I know that his first game in the NFL was Arizona, and he blew up. So I know personally Cam Newton has a big history in Arizona playing games and winning. But he wasn't in this game, so it changed everything up. Cody, what do you think?
I want to apologize to Candy, who I accidentally put into timeout that was meant to go to Lee. Sorry, Candy, it only lasts for 300 seconds. My bad, baby. You know we love you. What was the question? Say that one more time. I was dealing with some idiot trolls in the chat room.
He's already been suspended once, too, this time, I think.
Yeah, he's just talking trash about everybody. Yeah, man, repeat that question one more time.
I think it was basically the location of the game and what it has to do with the effect of the game.
Yeah. Listen, man, like I said, it's hard for me to not have a lot more hope coming out of this than I did before. I was not a believer in Kyle Allen, and homeboy shut me up. He did well today. But, I feel like we're kind of repeating the same thing here. But it was Arizona, so we don't know yet. But, is there anyone among us that doesn't feel better about this team right now than we did when we woke up? There's reason to be hopeful about our season. So,
I didn't feel bad about the team. I didn't feel bad about the team at all. The only reason we feel better today is two reasons. We got a W, and two is that we didn't have to think about Cam Newton for a moment.
Yeah,
for a moment, we forgot about the fear. And that's what it is that it's not even been that Cam played bad. I can deal with one of my heroes just not being the Superman that I see every moment. I can deal with disappointment for people that I love. It's the fear of the unknown. And I tell you, we are always, the most unsettling thing to people is I always talk about, because I teach history, I say the reason this is that people always say the good old days, that the earth is going to a hell in a handbasket. Kids these days, they say that not because it's true, because overall, I feel like the world is progressively getting better. Everything about our lives seems to improve year to year. Now, I know could be setbacks, but I think the real reason we do that psychologically is because the past, there's a certain certainty to the past, right? It's already happened, and you feel this comfortableness with it first. Second, you get to avoid you get to forget about all the cruddy things, right, of your past, and you only look at the good moments. But the real unsettling part about the future is the unknown, and that's really what has been so. Cody, to answer your question, do we feel better? I don't feel better or worse. You know what? It's just for a moment I haven't had to have that fear of what it could be, and I can be happy with this point.
Well,
today, this moment.
Diving into what you're talking about, man, you're talking about the difference between fickle and abyss. And I know they're two totally different words, but fickle is ever changing, and that is the way life is. Life is fickle. Doesn't matter where you're playing, unless you're the Patriots. Life is fickle. It's always going to be changing. You never know what to expect. And the abyss is the unknown. Which is what we're always diving into. So I feel like most life experiences are diving into that abyss and never knowing what to expect in the future unless you're a Patriots fan. And everything else before that is very fickle. Like, you don't know what to expect. You don't know where you're going to go. You don't know what's going to happen. And I think that's kind of the way not only football is, but life is. And to your point, Tony, we just got to kind of roll the punches and see what happens. We don't know what's going to happen. Everything is very fickle, and the future is the abyss, and we have no idea what's going on. So, what you said is 100% accurate. Yeah. There is no way of knowing what we see in the future.
And isn't it nice to just not have that kind of wait for a moment, where you can just at this point, it's like if you have like a cancer or something, if you could just have one good day where a friend stops by and you had a cup of coffee and you didn't have to think about it for a moment. And we got to win for the good guys here today. The number's 252-228-5098. And also apologies to anybody who does have cancer, because it's nothing like having cancer.
No,
Oh, man, Kyle Allen. What's up with the boy? 4 touchdowns. Ain't giving up on Cam yet. No way you can give up on Cam.
No.
Did way
never.
too much for the franchise as a whole. But Kyle Allen, congratulations. Good job. Keep up the good work. Cam Newton, we need you to get that hunger back, man. Somebody coming for your spot, man. What you gonna do? But other than that, Panthers, good game. John C. Jackson, good game. 2 picks. You know you got it in. Keep it up. Luke, continuously killing everybody. But, great game, Panther Nation. Keep rocking.
Cody, you said it's difficult. YouTube makes it difficult. You know, it also makes it difficult when there's such a lit chat. And there have been, we had 100 people watching the show. We crested 100 people for the first time. Thank you for your support. 71 people have stuck through the entire post-game show. And so, Cody, you were right on the money, but the chat was so lit that them mugs were just flying by right there. And these, and boy, it's nice to see this. You know what I'm really excited about with this, with the group of people that have been in the chat room, the listeners, is that we've had big shows, guys, because there's been bad news the last couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying? Bad news brings a lot of fan opinions. Today was good news. Today we got good news, and the fans were there. We needed this. This is for today's win was just as important for the fans, I think, as it was for the team. And we forget, or at least that's how I feel. We live and die with these guys. And today there was a win for the good guys. And let's just do this. Is that, look, we've been through the calls. Cody, where can they follow you on Twitter?
At Cody Lack, CODYLAC. I just want to leave the show with this. Pressure makes diamonds. And, you know, it's okay if
burst pipes.
Yeah, exactly. it makes diamonds or it bursts pipes. And right now, you know, if Cam Newton is going to have to hear the same takes that we are, is Cam done? Is Kyle Allen the future? Then listen, man, the pressure is on. When Cam Newton gets back to being healthy, I hope he comes back and lights the NFL on fire like I still believe in him to do. I want to make sure that's been said. I love my Cam Newton. That's the reason why I fell in love with football. I'm on Team Cam, and talk to me on Twitter.
Greg, tell them where they can find you. And again, here, I really want to personally thank you for having me on your podcast. I hope you enjoyed having me on as much as I enjoyed being on. I had a fun time, and it was a nostalgic moment for me.
Oh, my God, dude. I can't even begin to describe how it feels. You can find me at the Bad Daddy 52 on Twitter. I also run another show. It's the Super Civil Servants Podcast, and you can find us at SCS Podcast 1 on Twitter or SCS Podcast 1 at yahoo.com if you want to comment on the show. Tony, you were on our show this Friday. We talked for like 3.5 hours about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze. Great movie. That will drop tomorrow morning, so anybody who is listening, let us know. And, well, not let us know, but check the show out. Tomorrow morning, that will be on the internets. So, but
and I came prepared.
Me
I came with notes. I was ready to go. Yeah. I made observations. I was worried about Shredder's existential moments. So I got a lot of things to say. But, guys, you know what we also got to talk about is Carolina Panthers, and we do it on Tuesday nights. The #1 Panthers podcast, because we don't quit, and you guys don't either. You've hung out with us for the last couple of years. This podcast has been gaining momentum because we're building a community, and you guys are doing it in the chat room. You guys who listen on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, you guys are part of that community. The people that call into the Cat Calls line are part of that community, and we're going to keep growing together, good, bad, or ugly. We'll be here Tuesday night, 9 p.m., to talk about the Carolina Panthers and this resurgence now, this moment of hope that we get, and this moment of levity. Guys, that's the show, and I'm calling it. Keep pounding, guys.
I hear you, man. Keep pounding, brother.
Keep pounding. On to Houston.
Yes, sir.